Hey, I think we're live right now. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Rafa. Welcome, Michelle, girls from TSF5. Super excited to see you guys connected to this webinar. Valentina and I are here today to answer any technical questions you might have at this point of your landing or any other questions on visas. Yeah. So the idea is that you guys write your questions on the live chat. So Rafaela already has a question for us, Vale. But before, I wanted to introduce to you the person that put all of this together, which is Almendra.
Hi, guys.
Almendra is our communications executive for those who haven't met her yet, and she'll be also here just in case you guys have any questions for her.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go with Rafa's question. Should we already leave questions here? Oh, yeah.
Please do. That's the idea.
That's the idea. So in the meantime, I'm going to explain a bit how the first week of your program is. The dates aren't on the calendar yet because they will be defined between the end of this week and the beginning of the next. And then you'll be able to see them on your Google Calendar, which is on the Suppers Online site. So basically the first week is for Chileans and for foreigners. On the first day, we have an introduction to the program, some activities for you guys to get to know each other and also to get to know the staff. And then Monday afternoon with the foreigners, we will be heading out to PDI to register their visa. Then on Tuesday and Wednesday, we have workshops on the program to kind of, land you on the program itself, on financial activities, on acceleration activities, and also all of the community activities, which are all equally important. So and then Thursday, we do civil registry and opening bank accounts for either Chileans or foreigners who wish to open a bank account here. Well, everybody has to have one in Chile to get the grant deposited in the bank account, but some Chileans already have their bank accounts. So Rafaela has another question. Here we go. The new terms and conditions show 25 million, allowing the new terms and condition. Okay, wait. Yeah, there we go. The new terms and conditions shows 25 million. Are we following the new terms and condition or the old 20 million?
You are following the old ones, the ones that you were sent. So the 25 is for the next generation, so it doesn't apply to you guys. So you stay with the 20 millions.
Which is still good.
Yes, still a lot of money.
And you guys still get to apply to the Go Regional program, is that right, Vale?
Yes, you still have the chance to extend the project and go to some regions of Chile if you feel like there is a good market there for you.
Fantastic. So I wanted to talk to these guys a bit more about what is the account executive role in their program for them.
So here, as you know, I'm Valentina, I'm your account executive, and the idea is that everything that you have doubt, questions regarding the expenses, the project, everything, the idea is that you ask me. I'm the channel to connect you with all the staff here from Startup Chile and help you with everything that you don't know how to solve.
Mm-hmm. Great. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think all of your the projects you're going to handle for this generation are fintech. Am I correct?
Yes, most of them. I think it's fintech, and there's a little bit of tourism and fitness. So it does a lot of fintech, but have a lot of few industries different from that also.
Great. So you guys will be getting to know each other and having the chance to share your experience working on the same industry or similar industries either way. So Christian wants to know if there will be an opportunity to have some one-on-one time with Valentina to solve some questions.
Yes, we will have a lot of that opportunities. The first one will be once you get here, of course, and I think it's going to be the second or the third week since you get here, and we will have a one-on-one meeting with every project. So you will have the chance to explain to me the project, your plan for these 6 months, and ask me all the questions that you have. So even after that, if you feel like you need to meet with me and to have a meeting because I don't know anything that you feel like. We can meet, and here for you guys. That's the idea. If you need something, just send me an email or you come by the office and we can have a conversation.
Great, thank you, Vale. For now, Christian, if you have questions you need to solve right now, this is the opportunity to do so. Most of your questions will probably be also questions that other suppers have, so don't feel shy and just shoot them right here. So Michelle wants to know if they can start opening the account in the bank. So can I answer that? So first you need to sign the contract with Startup Chile, which is on probably the next week after February 5th, so after the landing week. It takes about a week or two to sign the contract, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, but still, once the program officially starts, then you can open a bank account, which would be actually on the first week. So I correct myself. You do not have to have signed the contract yet.
You need the root number.
You do need Michelle is Chilean,
okay.
But still, you need to have formally started the program with us, which is not until February 5th. So that week, you'll have the possibility to do so. To know, if I choose not to get salary, can I stay as natural person, or do I have to still open a Chilean Primera Persona?
No, you can stay as natural person. If you don't apply for a salary, you don't need to do the SII process and the Primera Persona thing. So you just have to present the housing cost. That is something that is explained very detailedly in the terms and conditions. So you have two options here. You either apply for a salary or present the housing cost, but you cannot do both. And if you stay with the housing cost, there is no need for you to open, to initiate activities in the SII.
Fantastic. So Mark, hi Paula and Valentina. Hi Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Thanks for this webinar. My question is, if we pick reimbursement, how much cash flow do we need in order to survive before we get the first reimbursement? Would 50,000 be enough? 50,000 USD, I guess.
Okay, this is a tough question. First of all, you have to consider that if you choose reimbursement, obviously Bitcoin is gonna depend on how fast you spend the money. But it also appears in the terms and conditions that you cannot present more than 15 million pesos on the first 3 months. So how much is?
I think it's not gonna say, or no?
See, I think with that would be enough, but the most important thing is that you have to consider that once you get here, at least a month and a half, you won't have a meeting. So take that into consideration, and I think with the amount that you mentioned is fine. If you have any urgency or something, you can contact me and we can to see what options do we have. But I think for now it should be enough.
Yeah, definitely for your general life. It depends on your lifestyle, of course. I know that you've already lived in Chile, so you have a good estimation of the cost of life here in Chile. 50,000 would be probably enough. The way you're going to be able to get it reimbursed is a different question, but being able to live in Chile with that amount of money would definitely be enough. So for those of you who are wondering how much is actually the cost of life in Chile, generally people, just because we are in a whole continent that tends to be cheaper than other continents, believe that Chile is a cheap country to come to. But it isn't really, honestly.
Compared to the other Latin American countries.
Exactly. So it would be comparative to maybe living in an Italian city or maybe in a Spanish southern city or something like that. So if that works as a reference, then that's the amount of money you should be contemplating on spending during your first 2 or 3 months here before you get reimbursement. 15 millones in Chilean, yeah, but is 24,000 K.
But that's the most, the maximum amount that you can present in the first 3 months. So it's not what you need. So it's the top of it's a condition, because if you got to the first financial meeting with 20 million, we won't be able to reimburse you in the first instance those 20 millions. That's what I meant.
Great. So you guys have to know that the program officially starts for you the 5th of February. During the first week, we'll be doing all the formal processes that have to do with getting a Chilean ID for you, a root number, which is like your social security number in a way, opening a bank account for you guys, registering your visas, etc. All of this in order to have you all prepared to sign the contract, which will probably happen a week after the landing week, the first week of the program. Once you sign your contract, if everything is in order, which has to do also with your personal financial background, once you sign the contract, then it might take about a month and a half and 2 months for you to get the first payment, okay? So if you take longer than a week to sign the contract, then the payment will come after. So you guys have to anticipate that amount of time that it takes to actually get the first payment. It's how it works. It's government. This is a public accelerator. It's government regulated, and these are the regulations that we have to stand by.
Yes.
So I don't know if we have any other people. Oh, sorry, Rafa, you had a question. So do we have reimbursement meeting every month? I had it every month for TSF. It is a great and easy method. Answering Mark, the first payment arrived 2 months after signing the contract. Okay.
So yes, you do. You can have a meeting every month. That depends on you, on how fast you spend the money, and obviously on the time available for you to come and for the financial executive agenda, because there's a lot of projects going on. So it can be done. We have to see if there is enough free time for you to come here. But right now, I would say that yes, you can do that, of course.
Great. So it seems you guys are a bit quiet, which is good, I guess, because that means you're understanding everything so far. What you guys should have done by this time of the landing is, if you're a foreigner, you should have already filled in the visa form. The deadline to fill that in was like 3 weeks ago. You should have already filled in the website, the SAC form, the government website for the visa. You should have already received your invitation letter. Invitation letters were sent out to foreigners and also to Chileans. There was also an invitation in there to join a WhatsApp group. So there's a G19 WhatsApp group that's already been created, which you can join. And I guess that's most of the important stuff that you guys should have done already. If you haven't, reach out immediately to the admissions email and let's see what went on. So yeah, I don't know. We'll give you guys 2 or 3 more minutes and just to see if you have any more questions, or else we'll just be very proud to have a very short webinar. We hope it was still informative for you. Vale is always easy to reach if you have any questions. So Mark has another question. Great.
That is a good question.
Okay. Mark wants to know, we have to invest 10% during the program. When can we start spending this 10%?
Okay, this is a question that people make a lot, because it's not maybe that easy to understand, but you don't get to choose how you spend that 10%. You just spend the whole amount of money, the 20 million pesos, and when you come here to the financial meeting, is the financial executive the one that is going to make the difference between the 90% and the 10%. So it's not like you get to choose on what you spend on that 10%. You just make one expense, and that expense is going to be split in the 90% that goes on Corfo's behalf, and then the 10% that is on your behalf.
Fantastic. So Santiago is Chilean, and he already has his visa, of course, his route, his company, and a bank account. So he wants to know when he can get the first payment.
Okay, the first payment it depends on 2 things, I think. One is the contract, the complete process of formalization. That means that you have to sign the contract, that the contract goes to Corfo and do all the process there. And once that process is finished, you are eligible to receive the first payment. But that depends on what type of payment did you choose, that is reimbursement or upfront. So if you chose upfront, you have to have paid the insurance policy. Okay, so if your reimbursement, once you had the formalization process completed, you are ready to be reimbursed. But if you chose upfront, you have to have the formalization process completed and also had paid and approved the insurance policy. And with those 2 things, you will be able to receive the money.
Great. I want to double click on the insurance policy thing. How does that work? Is it mandatory for everybody?
So it's not mandatory for everybody. If you choose upfront, which means that we give you the money in advance, we have to have a guarantee that you will spend that money correctly. For that reason, you have to pay an insurance policy to make us sure that you will respond correctly. So if you choose reimbursement, you don't have to contract any insurance policy.
Mm-hmm. And how much is the insurance policy approximately?
I think it's about 280,000.
Chilean pesos.
Chilean pesos, yes.
Great. So about 550 USD.
Yeah.
Okay, so where is it? Okay, so Rafaela wants to know, in the terms and condition, it says that the max expensive of 3.5 million for one outsource. Does it count for a team member that is not in Chile? My doubt is whether there is a limit salary for people not living in Chile.
It depends on how you hire him, because if he's just an outsourcing, then that applies to him, even if he's a team member, because for us, the only team members that count as a team member is the ones that apply with you in the application process. So if you decide to hire him as an outsource, then you have to do that. Like if there is more than 3.5 million, you have to present 3 quotes, unless he's here, because that way you will be able to hire him as an expert. But he, as like you are mentioning, he's not going to be here, so that also applies to him or her. I don't know.
Great, thank you, Ali. So I think we weren't clear enough for Mark. He wants to know specifically if he can start or not spending until he signs the contract.
Okay, this is up to you, but you have to know that all the expenses that you do before the program or the contract is signed are in evaluation. The idea is that I approve the expenses that you are planning to make, because I have to know that they are related to the project. So if you start spending money now, you take the risk that I don't approve that expense. That way you won't be reimbursed that expense. So if you ask me, I will wait until the contract is, not until the contract is signed, but until the program starts.
Yes.
Okay, and we have our first meeting, so I know the project, I know what is your plan for spending the money and everything involved in that.
But by now they can make certain expenses.
Yeah, you can do like what is the name?
Air tickets.
No, but it's like the I don't remember the name, but you can start spending on the flight ticket to get here, the visas process, and the insurance, the health insurance.
Yeah. So there's a handbook that was sent out to you guys a couple of weeks ago. You can see this information explained quite thoroughly right there. If there's anything unclear, of course, we're always happy to answer your questions. So Michelle, Michelle didn't hear either if we answered the bank, if she can open a bank account for her company right now. So right now, Michelle, no, you will be able to do so from February 5th in the landing week. The 8th of February, you'll be able to do that. We do have the option for opening bank accounts for your company if you're incorporated in Chile. If not, we can also offer the opportunity to open a bank account as a natural person. So Christian wants to know if you can get a head start on the insurance policy to save time.
I'm afraid you cannot, because we have to wait until you have the resolution of your contract, which means that you have to wait until you get here and sign the contract. Because for the insurance company to know that the project exists, we have to have this resolution of the contract. Once that is completed, you can go and pay the insurance policy. But in the meantime that you are signing the contract and all that, we are talking to the insurance policy already, and that will be ready for you to get paid as soon as you get the resolution.
Great. So let us know if you guys have any other questions. Right now, it seems like there's not many people with more questions, so we'll give this again 2 or 3 minutes just to see if because of the lagging, you guys are not writing. What else do you need to know about the program? So there are mandatory activities for the program. For example, the first week, you need to be here on the 5th of February. If someone isn't here for A, B, or C reason, they cannot participate in the program. It means it is taken as as the option to opt out of Startup Chile, okay? So it's very important that you plan accordingly. You hopefully get here before the same Monday, and you're good and settled to go on Monday, which is an exciting day. It's different from the TSF landing that we did with some girls that are in here, so you guys should be excited as well. I hope all of your landing buddies are being good to you and also are being informative about different stuff of the program. As you know, in Startup Chile, we do have many generations. So in each generation, we try to improve our processes more and more, and then we create different things. So even if you've been in a previous program like TSF before, this will be a great experience for you. I have no doubts about it. Okay, so Vale, is there anything that you would like to inform to your project?
I would like to share, because a lot of you guys have asked me about these prior expenses and if you can start spending. So these prior expenses are the ones that I mentioned. Right now you are able to spend on the visa process, the flight ticket, and the health insurance, but any expense related directly to your project, you have to wait for my approval. So that has to wait until the program started. And once we have a meeting together where you explain to me all the plan for your process and project, you will be able to start spending the money.
Great. Thank you for the clarification. Let's go with Rafaela's last question. Is the focus of development to be in the Chilean market?
I think that the idea is that you actually, yes, do something here, at least as a pilot, because we are not a very big market. So obviously it's not like the main target of many of the projects. But the idea is that if you are here, you use that opportunity to approach the Chilean market. So that is valuable for us as well. I mean, if we compare like a project that doesn't have contact with the Chilean market with one that does have contact and try to enter the market and test your product here, is going to be more valuable for us.
Fantastic. Okay, so thank you guys for joining us today. We hope to have been the most informative we could have. Remember, you can always reach out either to Valentina or to the admissions email if you have further questions. We're excited to meet you. Remember to be here on February 5th. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Is there anything else?
I need to add something, because we will be sending you and me as your account executive an email for you to choose between the reimbursement payment or the upfront. So please be checking your email frequently, because we need that information. And in that email also is going to be included the time of period that you want your contract to be. Like, it's going to be 7 months or 9 months. So you have to make two choices there, that it's the type of payment and the duration of the project.
Great. Thank all of you. Thank you for thanking. Thank you for the sweets. Looking forward to them. And see you soon. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Yay.